Okay, hey everybody, pretty chilly out here today. I just wanted to explain one thing about soil and soil texture with regard to site prep that we touched upon in week 2 when we did our Beck classification. We tried to figure out the soil texture and you know, who cares, right? Well, I'm going to try and explain one reason why you care, even though you're in silviculture, just trying to grow trees. Why do you care about soil texture, especially with site prep? So in your FS 660 booklet, you know, we looked at that page where you can do soil texturing using this drop-down menu. So this soil over here is a very sandy soil. This is comes out at way over 50% sand and a lot of coarse fragments, and it keys out at a loamy sand, okay? A loamy sand, and that's because it's got so much sand in it. I do the worm test, and just in case you don't remember, what is a worm test? Well, you know, I try to get some soil. I'll give it some extra rain here. I try to make a worm out of it the best I can, and it just doesn't work. Okay, so the thinner and longer the worm, the more finer textured and clay type soil you've got. So this one, it just won't hold together. You can't pick it up. It doesn't make a worm. That's just a rock. Okay, that's a worm test. This soil over here keys out very differently. This one keys out at less than 50% sand. And I'm coming down here. I can make a pretty small worm, really thin, 3 millimeters. It keys out at maybe a silty clay, this one. Try a worm test here. Oh, yeah, it's definitely working out. Let's see where this goes. You can see the fine textured soil staying on my hand here, right? And wow, yeah, I don't know. Okay, you know, I'm down to a 3 millimeter worm pretty easily, and yes, it holds together. So that's a worm test, you know, no big deal. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew what the heck I'm talking about. Now, back to our site prep thing. Here's a 10-pound weight. When it hits the ground, look at, I've got 1 square inch here and 1 square inch here. So 2 square inches over 10 pounds. That's 5 pounds per square inch, right? 5 pounds per square inch, that's about the equivalent of a skidder or that kind of machinery that you'd use out in the setting in your cut block. 5 psi, so we're going to roll our site prep equipment over both soil types, and we'll just see if there's any different result. I'm going to roll my skidder track, and it's pretty rough, you know, you're going over logs, etc., etc. Got 2 different soil types here. I'm going to try it on this site over here. Same thing. Try and make it realistic, not so smooth. Rough it in. There's my tire tracks. That's nice. Skidder tracks. Let's give this guy a bit more. And this is moist soil, so it's not totally dry. And it's not totally frozen either, which is a little bit safer bet, obviously. But here we go. We've repeatedly gone over there with our skidder. Now let's check out what happened. What did we do? Did we do anything to our soil? So here's our sand. Let's see what's happened. Obviously that's exactly the same as it was before. We'll go down to the bottom here, and you can see, oh, yeah, it's not, I mean, oh, you can almost imagine there's a slight change in the soil property. almost, but it just, no. It's just the same. And that's because of the coarse fragment content, right? And the amount of sand in this soil. No way you can make a worm. So no compaction issue there whatsoever, right? And then on this side, whatever. We didn't really touch this ground, so there it is. Pretty decent. Normal clay soil. And then here where the tire tracks went, let's see if there's any difference at all. Get that over there. And here's our, okay, now, I hope you're seeing this. I mean, you've completely changed the structure of this soil. Look at, oh, say in a real world that could be down almost a foot or more. That's your rooting depth for your younger trees, people. You've totally squished out all the air. You've compacted it really nicely. And that's a terrible thing, right? So just because you're in silviculture and you're site preparing doesn't mean you can't damage your productivity of your site. You certainly can. And here's an example of compaction with a 5 psi ground wheeled machine. Yeah, it's pretty compact. Very different than this, just no, nothing, right? So again, you know, these soil types are really important, and that's why we care in silviculture about soil texture. Okay, I usually have you guys do this yourself and get dirty, but I tried it on a video for you. All right, that's it.